Good evening, folks. Just wanted to post a quick video tonight. Getting ready to head out of Texas tomorrow. Actually had a really good time while I was here. Let me add something on the screen there, probably an ash. Had a really good time while I was here. Leaving tomorrow, but the friendships I've made will definitely be, they just began. So that's cool. Some interesting things happened today, though, that I wanted to make a quick little conversation about. I discovered that there's been an ShadowNet Enterprise Edition deployed nationwide from an article written in Army Times, so I'm pretty sure it's an accurate article. Well, I don't know, but the only question that remains is it the same ShadowNet? Now, ShadowNet was trademarked, so if it's not the same ShadowNet, well, then the 91st out of Virginia is in pretty clear patent violation, trademark violation. If it is the same thing, then we got a big problem, folks, because the people that own the ShadowNet, same person that owns the ShadowNet, is the person who I filed an IG complaint against in 2015, General James Jones, Obama's National Security Advisor, right? I was the Information Assurance Security Officer for the Department of Defense, really, well, actually from 2005 to, actually 2006 with my unit at JCSC, through the time that I was with, working for General Jones from 2007 to 2015. Now, from 2007 to 2010, I was pioneering social media psychological warfare application called the ShadowNet for General James Jones. He ended up, in my opinion, stealing it, and my opinion and everybody else on the team there, stealing the ShadowNet, keeping the intellectual property rights to it, taking it with him and making it commercially available. Even discussed using it to influence U.S. elections with Jim Jones, his son, the president analogy at the time. So these are all problems we should have with these people. If this is the same ShadowNet, these are problems that people should have with what's going on. In 2015, I refused to provide administrative access to a government employee that didn't have the required documentation. He was a division chief, and he wanted administrative access to a classified network, right? That's a no-no. I could get thrown in jail if I gave him access for that. But he swore at me so loud that my colleague next to me heard him threaten my job. We both that day, within minutes, filed an official complaint of abuse. In his conversation, he told me that he was going to have me fired if I didn't do it. The next day, they modified the contract that I was on, removing only the requirements for my position. And then within a couple days of me being gone, modified the contract back to its original requirements. And I was gone. That's how they deal with whistleblowers. Look at the integrity we're dealing with here. You think the guy that replaced me did the right thing? Stood up to them? Made them provide the required information? Or did that guy just buckle, looking at me as the example that they made? Pretty sure the latter is the case. This is national security we're talking about here and now. If we find out, if it's true, that the ShadowNet Enterprise Edition that was deployed by the Virginia National Guard, keep in mind that Virginia is where Dynology Jones Group International is headquartered, right? This goes so deep. I'm keeping this short. I was keeping it to the length of this cigarette, which is done right now, folks. Check it out. Check the tweet I put out on Twitter, at PFC40book. That's at PFC40book. You can go to my freedomstream.tv site. I have some information there. You can go to my Patreon site, which is patreon.com/theshadownet Could really use your help, because this is a big deal, folks. Unless someone can explain to me otherwise, this is a coup by Obama's national security advisor to use our national defense against us through our own governments, through our own states, through the National Guard, not through the federal, not through the reserve units that would be under federal oversight. No, this is a freaking coup, people. In my opinion, sure as hell is enough. Sure as hell should warrant you wanting to look into this, right? Because I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of questions. Good night and God bless, folks.